think anytime you get a chance to work with a quarterback that has talent and has work ethic, and you can help him become a better player, that's really what you're looking for as a coach. One of the things that you really love about what this kid does is he has a lot of trust of turning the ball loose really early. Robbie's not past the defender, and this ball is coming out already. And in his anticipation, these are things that you want quarterbacks to be able to do. Sam naturally has this. Obviously, playing him twice last year, some of the throws that he made, and Kiko's trying to get deep enough to take this away. This is as good as a throw you can. The anticipation, one, to put the ball where it needs to be, but just the trajectory of the ball and the touch of the throw, I mean, that's as good as you can get. His numbers on third down were better than his first and second down. You don't see that happen a lot, especially with rookies. One of the things that he's going to work on, and he's been working on, is knowing when the play's over for you. He's looking to take this shot here, and he might have a shot at this thing, but he moves off the spot like this, and then pulling up here, you got to know things are coming from behind. This is the NFL, man. These guys are coming quick. It's avoiding this sack. This is the development of a quarterback. This is when guys can really get better. His ability in the pocket to stand there and make the throws when he has to, and then at the same time, his ability to escape, extend the play, and then make something great happen. It makes your life a lot easier as a play caller when you feel that, because he doesn't see that. He can feel it. And now all of a sudden he does that. His ability to see the field and see defenders when everybody's moving fulls, it's almost like when he breaks the pocket, it slows down for him and it's speeding up for everybody else, and he makes unbelievable plays. And sometimes you got to let a guy be a baller. Just a couple plays from the spring, and this is where I'm really seeing some development. What we called here and what was run wasn't what was called. And it was him and Quincy being on the same page here of, I know what's coming and I'm going to change his route here. And that's what he does. This was one of the last days that we had on camp. But the thing that I love that he does is he can throw the ball from very unusual angles. And it doesn't make sense physically how he makes some of these throws with the velocity he does. Where his feet are on this play, and his ability to pull the ball back and flick it like this, you can't teach this. For him to be great, he's 1 of 11. He's going to be as good as we are up front, we are at this spot, at tight end, at wideout. It takes everybody to really have a quarterback elevate his play from year 1 to year 2. For him to play at an extremely high level and make that next jump, it's going to take all of us.
Passion's non-negotiable. You have to love this game.
Fight to everyone!
It's always about just the relentless, tough, the guys that just will never say die.
Guys that hate to lose almost more than they love to win.
I think it's just a story that's going to be written, man.
I've really been impressed with the work ethic in the classroom. Guys have done a good job, and that's going to benefit us in the end because they made it count. They made the spring count. I do think there's a different sense of urgency. The players know the season's coming up quick. They have limited time with practice and meetings, and as soon as they know it, it's going to be week 1, and we got to be ready to go. Like, there is no grace period. Right out the gate, you're playing Buffalo, and you're home, and expectations are going to be that we're going to play well.
In the NFL, there is no off-season. It's a 365-day grind with the goal of playing in February. Following a 4-12 season, change was needed in Florham Park.
Okay, guys, let's get NFL media insider Ian Rappaport on this one. We just found out the news. You just found out the news. Can you fill in any more blanks for us, Ian?
This was a long, day-long odyssey for the New York Jets, trying to figure out who was their next head coach. In the end, this was about Adam Gase, now the new coach of the New York Jets.
He is just a great football mind. Seeing the way he works is extraordinary.
The Jets finally got their guy.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas.
The Jets did a tremendous job of identifying their guy and making sure that they got him.
What do the Jets have to do to make this offseason very successful?
I'm telling you right now, in New York City, you need to make a splash.
It's been 7 months of retooling, reshaping, and rebranding. An organization that's ready to take on new heights in 2019.
Lev Bell, you know, he's one of the best running backs, if not the best, in terms of overall skill set in the National Football League.
He did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
New York Jets Nation, we here, baby. You already know what it is.
Jets.
C.J. Mosley is going to sign with the Jets on a 5-year, $85 million deal.
The Jets are just making move after move after move.
He's a big, ginormous human being.
Crowder brings to the Jets a playmaker from the slot.
He's my top player in the draft.
We've got a plan. We're executing it. I know we're a better team.
I took one ring box and made it like the important ring box. So yeah, this one is just as important to me. That's the conference championship in '98 with the guys at Richmond. These are the 3 Super Bowl rings: the 2000 ring, the 2012 ring, and the 2017 Eagles ring. From starting when you're just picking up players to then, you know, you're having a broader role. Each one, you know, each one is significant, but I feel like it's stepped up, you know, as far as how much you put in to each one. I'm just lucky and blessed to have these 3 trophies sitting here.
Joe Douglas is bringing a championship pedigree to the green and white. Beginning his career as a scout with the Baltimore Ravens, he's held many different titles on his way to becoming the Jets' general manager.
Started in June of 2000 and just walked into an unbelievable situation. And you know, and then that September I met Shannon, and that was a great year. That was a great year for me. Not only win the Super Bowl, but met your wife. You know, all in the same 4 or 5 month period, 6-month period. That was a pretty amazing year.
Living a life of transition is life in the NFL. As Joe settles into his biggest professional role yet, his most important role is at home, as a husband and a dad.
We didn't know that it was going to happen this fast. With, you know, getting hired in June, I thought maybe we would have another go around with the Eagles, and it was too great of an opportunity to pass up.
Changing towns, changing houses, we've been through that, and it's hectic. From the home front, I know and trust that Shannon's got everything under control.
A scout in the NFL is a road warrior, spending approximately 200 days a year away from home.
Can't overlook this team tonight. It's a tough business when it comes to family. It's a demanding business. She's really the engine that drives the car to our family. I wouldn't be where I am without her. That's for sure.
He's a very, very loving, hardworking husband. If we're at a basketball game, I would be texting him like, just got a basket, or if I could FaceTime a little bit, I would do that. But just trying to communicate with him how well that they each did. But whenever he did come home, he made sure immediately he was right there.
It just makes me happy when I make a great play. I look over my shoulder and I see my dad shaking his head.
When they look over his sideline and they're looking for you, you want to be able to, you know, give a little nod or smile, clap, you know, yell their name when they're doing a good job. And I know that they can hear that and they see that. I haven't grown an inch since 8th grade. So I've been 6'2", 315 since 8th grade. Yeah. So when I was doing the competitive powerlifting, I was probably 330. I was heavy.
Growing up in Virginia, he was a two-time All-State offensive lineman in high school and went on to play left tackle at the University of Richmond.
Biggest thing I'm proud of is being able to start 45 straight games there. You know, from my redshirt freshman until my last game at Richmond. One of the best abilities you can have is reliability. And so I always wanted to be there for my teammates. This was our team poster for the 96 season.
Where is he? Is that him?
Yeah.
You had hair?
Back when I had hair. Back when I had hair. That was a really good team.
Are you sure that wasn't a Photoshop?
His blue-collar work ethic translated to the scouting world. While working alongside Ravens GM Ozzie Newsome, Douglas made a name for himself by uncovering talent like future Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco.
So this is the second championship. This was the 2012 season. Working for a Hall of Fame general manager like Ozzie Newsome, who was so good just in everything he did and was so consistent in everything he did. But I mean, he just was, he trusted his scouts. He trusted the people that he worked with.
Douglas was hired by the Eagles in 2016 as their vice president of player personnel. He was the right-hand man to general manager Howie Roseman as they constructed a roster that delivered the first Super Bowl in franchise history.
You'd be on the ground floor. You just remember, again, the first thing that comes to mind is the joy, but then you remember what it took to get there and all the obstacles that were overcome and the adversity faced.
Looking good, bro.
Good luck, Dad.
Thanks, buddy.
Good luck, Dad.
Gonna do great.
It's a good day.
Oh, great day. Thank you. I'm fired up. I cannot tell you how blessed and honored I am to be the general manager of the New York Jets. My first steps and priorities here are going to simply be engage and connect with the entire organization. I'm excited to be working with Adam again after building a special bond in Chicago. We share a vision of building a team, and I look forward to partnering with him and getting this program to a place where we are consistently competing for championships each and every year. And finally, to Jets Nation, you're getting a general manager that is a relentless worker, someone that understands a winning culture, someone that is going to strive to put a product on the field each Sunday that competes for greatness, and that I hope will make you proud.
And then everybody look out at the cameras for me. Big smiles.
For the last 16 years, Joe Douglas has left his footprints all over the NFL. Now, the ultra-competitive family man is bringing his winning mentality to Florham Park. He is teaming up with head coach Adam Gase and the rest of the Jets organization to build a championship team in New York.
We talk every day. We're constantly bouncing ideas off each other. What we want, how we want it to look like, we share that same vision. Everyone in this organization, they deserve to feel the confetti fall. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that this fan base has that feeling. Day one of training camp, that's the start of it all.
Remember, you can catch this thing on the opposite front pylon, all right? So we got to staircase this, get across, okay? They got the back line in cut, okay? Preferred outside release. Good, Robbie. Good. So this is a move the ball in the red zone, move the ball in the red zone. Let's go.
Head coach Adam Gase is bringing a new energy to the practice field in Florham Park. His rise to the Jets began on the coaching tree of one of the game's best.
We recruited a quarterback from his high school. They both came to Michigan State. Eventually, Adam sort of wandered over and wanted to try to help out, in the football area some kind of way. Seemed like a pretty industrious, bright guy. Sort of gave him something to do, and he did it really, really well.
Whatever they asked, what anybody wanted. If a video guy was missing, and they were like, go up in the condor, you got to shoot practice. Which I had a huge fear of heights at the time, and I just remember being up there in a spring practice, shooting practice, and it was like gusting winds. I'm like, This is how it's going to end right here. Just started hanging out in the video room, which was with the GAs. So I was around. I was just one of those guys that I was able to be a fly on the wall. It just was an obsession. It just became something where it was, I couldn't see myself doing something else.
Never hesitated to do whatever anyone asked him to do. I never knew if he'd be an offensive coach, a defensive coach, or whatever, but learned very quickly and understood football extremely well, the concepts of the game and game management and those types of things. So where he's at now was never a surprise to me.
Learning under Saban was a master's class for Gase. It was a foot in the door to the coaching fraternity and an opportunity that he wasn't going to let slip through his fingers.
You look at him as a huge authority figure. You just tried to do the right thing all the time. You didn't want to let him down. I always appreciated the fact that he was a worker. Like, you saw him in the office all the time. He was always working, he was always watching tape, he was always very active on the practice field, working with the corners.
Saban was hired by LSU, and he brought Gase with him to Baton Rouge. For an up-and-coming graduate assistant, working on the Tiger staff was a front-row seat to coaching wizardry.
My first year at LSU was actually hearing Coach Saban call a game. You know, we were playing in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and we're playing Georgia Tech.
Breaks it open, 30, 25, 20, Burns will score. And they'll give it to him, blocker in front. That's Wilder, turns the corner, at the 5, and he'll score.
We got done with the first quarter, and Nick's like, I'm calling it. And he started calling. It's the only time I ever heard him call it.
Bill O'Brien, third down, pass is intercepted, put it right in the arms of Lawrence, but he's tackled by Godsey.
Everything they did, he had like the perfect defense on.
Godsey to throw. Up the far sideline, got a man, and it's intercepted. Right there is Clark.
I just remember like, man, wow, this guy is really, really good.
They've been in this spot a couple times. Play action, pressure's on, and Godsey is going to be sacked.
I think that even got me more juiced up as far as wanting to learn that whole, why was he one step ahead? Oh, I'm on today. I'm on today.
Hey, no, takes one. Mike's 57. Omaha, set!
Great score. That was like the Peyton clip. That was like the Peyton clip.
Oh, so good. It was so good.
You just compared me to Peyton.
I mean, easy. That clip.
That one play.
Gase's road to the Jets gave him the opportunity to work with some of the brightest minds in the game, including future Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning.
Six-man pressure. Peyton throws homer and ball. He's got Julius Thomas there. Thomas with a touchdown, and there's the record. Peyton Manning's 51st touchdown pass of the year.
It changed my career. You were competing with a Hall of Fame player, but a Hall of Fame mind.
Peyton bounces around, throws a deep ball. He wants Demaryius Thomas is there. DT's got it in a foot race. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Denver.
He was one of those guys that changed NFL football. Peyton was doing something that was unique as far as like at the line of scrimmage, looking at the defense, saying they're in this coverage and getting to the best play. You know, being able to do it in real time. Like, that's insane. Being around him and having to answer questions when he'd be like, what if they do this? What if they do this? And that whole like, hey, I'll get back to you on this, that wasn't really a great answer for him. I love the fact that we were really competitive too. I can't remember how many times, especially when I was a coordinator those 2 years, how many times we finished a game and we were both like, hey, great game. It was always one of us was mad about something that the other one screwed up.
First down and goal. Shot on the right side, pass will be caught, and that is a Denver touchdown, Manning to Eric Decker.
The 13th season, it was just about pushing how great could we be. Could we be the best ever? Could we be the best offense of all time? You know, it's all right to be over-communicated, especially in a walkthrough.
That's what you want right there. Sprint to the back pylon, run through it.
Set.
I always want to make sure that I don't put a bad play on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why everything has to have an answer. So that's what I'll spend all my time doing.
Okay.
Building a winning culture is a process. For Gase, it's about bringing the lessons he learned at the beginning to his new home on the Jets sideline.
We're very process-oriented, so if you're process-oriented, you're really trying to define how you're going to help people accomplish the goals that they have, whether it's individuals or collectively as a team.
Good things we'll build on, the bad things will get corrected. All right, and we need to do some correcting and we need to do some improvement. And every player here has got the attitude that we need to do that. Every player's got to have that. Look, guys, you can't read about how good you are.
The responsibility, the accountability, people taking ownership to do things the way they're supposed to do them at a high standard on a consistent basis. These are very easy things to talk about, but very challenging things to get done.
Striving to get better at every day, every game, every practice. All those little things matter. All those little tiny details that people are like, why are you worried about that? Well, it's gonna matter. You know, hey, you won the game. Why are you upset about this, this, and this? Because that's gonna cost us at some point if we don't get it fixed. I try to keep everything short-term focus, because if you try to look at the thing as a whole, it's just gonna be overwhelming. We have a lot of work to do. We're in a division where, you know, the team that's won 6 Super Bowls is in our division. So we have a lot of catch-up to play. We have to maximize our time. Everything we do is important.
I can have Mr. Johnson on one side, Adam on the other.
With the cornerstones in place, the new-look Jets are ready to go to work. With a shared goal of bringing another Lombardi trophy to one Jets drive.
It's always about just the relentless, tough, the guys that just will never say die.
Guys that hate to lose almost more than they love to win.
Go!
Quick, be quick.
I want to be around guys that you are burning the boats and you're going on shore and it's like, we're either taking this thing or we're going to die trying.
Nice and quick.
One Jets Drive production in 3, 2, 1.
Coming up next week on One Jets Drive.
You talk about a guy that loves being on the field, that guy loves being on the field. You can see that guy is the heartbeat, man.
We expect nothing less than perfection. There shouldn't be a defense that can stop us.
The whole NFL world sleeping on the Jets. What better city, what better state, to come in and turn a great organization around and be champions.